Good morning, MEA, and welcome back. In the first video of this series, we spoke to MEA about the importance of the services strategy for us and how it's helping us to differentiate, diversify our revenue streams, and accelerate our growth. We also agreed to delve a little bit deeper into the 4 lines within services. So today we'll kick off with advisors. With me today, our good friends, Thomas Kuncheria, who looks after advisors for Middle East and Africa. Welcome to you, Thomas. And J.K. Khalil, who is our country manager for Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, but formerly of advisors. Thomas, let's start with you. Advisors have been a huge success for us in the region, and you are actually the largest amongst those lines within services. Please tell us, what are you guys trying to do in advisors?
Thank you, Tamer. The payments industry is getting quite complex and quite competitive. It's a great place for consulting. So we offer consulting services, managed services, and data and analytics. For consulting services, essentially our issuers or acquirers are asking us questions around who should I target, what value propositions and products should I launch, with increasing complexity around mobile payments, QR codes. How do I leverage that to grow my business? We actually bring in a team who have consulting experience to help them answer these strategic questions, but not just answer those questions, but also come up with an actual action plan, right, of initiatives to help them get to their goals. Right. Sometimes it's not enough to come up with the action plan. They need hand-holding on the ground. That's where managed services comes in. Right. We can help them, for example, set up a direct sales channel or a telesales channel, help them run a campaign from design, analytics, to measuring the results of the campaign as well. Right. And lastly, we have data and analytics. Essentially what we're trying to do here is, rather than our issuers or acquirers setting up their own analytics shop, we actually give them platforms that they just need to log in and they could see all of that data of their portfolio, right? And compare that with their peers as well.
Wonderful. So consulting services, managed services, and information services. J.K., tell us, in Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, how has this all played out and what role have advisors played in your markets?
Sure. So I look at advisors as 3 types of engagement. The first one is sort of tactical, surgical, very specific question, a study that needs to be conducted because a client has a specific business problem, is trying to achieve a certain objective within a limited time frame, or they have a bandwidth or a capability or even know-how sometime, problem that they need to plug. The second one is the longer-term CBA driving type of engagements that typically gets structured in parallel with a quite aggressive, sometimes ambitious CBA, such as the example of what happened with the Riyadh Bank in Saudi Arabia, when they came to us and said, hey, how can you help us become the #1 issuer of cards in Saudi? And we said, well, it is possible to go from number 4 to number 1 over 3 years if you do these activities, and this is how advisors can help you actually get them done. Right. And the third one is, to me, what I call the untraditional, unusual type of engagements. Be it, introducing a data platform to a bank. So, this is more of a strategic, very long-term type enablement activity. Or sometimes talking to a regulator and saying, like for instance, in the case of Central Bank of Bahrain very recently, they came to us and said, look, we have a lot of QR merchants and a lot of QR acquirers in the market. It has to be contained and standardized. Can you help us develop a standardization framework to bring the market to a place where there's interoperability? Because right now it's quite fragmented. Right. So that's how I look at them, into these 3 sort of like tactical, surgical kind of interventions, long-term programs, and untraditional, let's say, engagements outside of banking partnerships.
Yeah, I agree that's very helpful. And actually, some of those projects that you just mentioned are amongst the largest for advisors even globally. So Thomas, I think what you guys have tried to do in Saudi and Bahrain has worked quite well. What's your plan and what's your ask for us to replicate that same kind of success across all of the Middle East and Africa?
Sure, so the key is partnership, right? For one, we need our account and country teams to understand what advisors do. J.K. knew that inside out. He knew exactly how advisors could support him in his country and with his issuers and acquirers and other partners as well. So understanding the advisor's capabilities. The second is really partnering with us, right? Pulling us into deals right in the beginning, as J.K. mentioned, so that we can go to our issuers or acquirers and we say, rather than giving them a plastic answer, here's a credit or a debit product, we actually tell them, this is how we can help you grow your payments business, or even broadly, this is how we can help you grow your retail business or your commercial business.
So you can actually help us move from just the isolated individual tactical product conversations to much larger thematic engagements with our customers. J.K., a final word from you. What's your advice to our country managers in order to replicate the success that you've had?
Think about it this way. You have to be able to understand the narrative to be able to leverage advisors to the maximum potential. Think about the why, think about the what and the how. The why for me is very straightforward. From a Mastercard perspective, you're talking about revenue diversification and growing your services share within your P&L. From a client perspective, that's about really helping them reach their full potential, better perform on their CBAs, and really unlock their business potential. On the what, I mean, Mastercard advises, let's call it what it is. It's the best payments and fintech consulting practice in the world. It's the best and the largest as well. Yeah. So it's a great asset that we have a duty to bring to our clients in terms of a partnership as a true partner to help them unleash their full business potential and increase their capability and execution potential. But finally, and the most important thing, is the how. I don't think we should use advisors as a utility and on an ad hoc basis. We have to be able to understand that they have to be at the table, whether it's an account discussion, whether it's a country discussion. They have to better understand, or really understand, what it is that we're trying to achieve from a business objectives around the table, so that they can help us on the day-to-day discussions when they are inside every client situation
I
that
love
they find
that.
themselves
I
in.
love that. So engaging with advisors during account planning time and during your business planning time as well. Treating advisors as a true partner in our markets. If you haven't already, make sure that you engage with your advisors, partners in the markets. On the screen right now, you'll see the names of all of the advisors, business development leads who cover all of the countries across Middle East and Africa. Involve them, engage them more and more. They will add tremendous value to your business. Thank you for listening.